Hello everyone and welcome to Ibaisaic. Well, it's another demonstration, but today it's a demonstration of a vintage vacuum cleaner. Now I can call this vintage. I had someone pull me up on a video. I called a Hoover Vortex vintage. Oh, that's not vintage, this person said. I don't know if he speaks like that, but I suspect he does. I said it'll be vintage soon enough, but I suppose a Hoover Vortex is fairly vintage-ish. I mean, some of you won't have even been born when the Hoover Vortex was in the shops. But anyway, this one, hopefully I can truly call a vintage vacuum cleaner. I believe it's from the 70s. I can't remember if it got dated on the unboxing. Somebody normally tells me how old it is, so I'll have to go and check. But anyway, it is pretty old. I'm pretty sure it's a 70s or very, very early 80s model, but no, I think it's 70s. This is an Electrolux automatic 330. This came before the very, very popular 345, which apart from the colour, I think is more or less the same. A neighbour of mine had a 345, I remember. Mrs. Tapp was her name. I think she's long gone now, bless her. But anyway, she had a 345 and my mum had an Electrolux 502. So, yes, it was an Electrolux street. Now then, without any further ado, I'm going to show you the cleaner. Now, if you remember my unboxing video, it was in very, very good condition. The motor sounded perfect. It just needed a little bit of a wipe. That's all I've done to this machine. I've given it a bit of a wipe and a bit of a polish. That's all I've done. And I put a new bag in. There was a dirty bag, but there was plenty of bags supplied. So there's a brand new bag in. I had to wash the exhaust filter. I don't think I was able to find a new exhaust filter, so I have washed that. But that's basically all I've done. Oh, and the only other thing I did was to rewire the plug because it was wired correctly, but it was a little bit dangerous. So, there we go. Let's take a close look at this vacuum cleaner and then, yes, I'm going to give it the full bag of filth treatment. I don't think it's going to do very well, but you never know. It's not got very much suction. But I've no idea how it's going to do. This is going to be first for me as well. So I'm going to test it with my bag of filth on my carpets. I'll also test it on my kitchen floor as well. So that'll be exciting for you, or won't it? I'm sure it will. But before I get my dirt out, let's take a guided tour of this vacuum and I'll point out its various features and functions. Well, here she is, minus the hose. I thought it'd be easier for me to show you around the cleaner without the tapered hose attached. So here it is, in a very traditional cylinder style. It wasn't until a bit later on, from the sort of late 70s, early 80s, that we started getting more unusual shaped cylinder vacuums, but this is pretty bog standard, with the bag this side, the motor this side. Vacuum cleaners haven't changed a lot, but this, for its time, was a pretty advanced machine, pretty much top of the range, had several automatic features which I'll point out and demonstrate during the course of this video. Well, let's have a look at it. So it's actually metal, I believe. The whole body is metal. The end caps are plastic, but it's a very well made machine, this. It's metal, but it's got this vinyl ribbed material all the way around, and of course we've got the Electrolux logo either side. While we're on this side, this is the flex. So this is the first automatic feature of the Electrolux automatic 330, which is automatic cord rewind, and very unusual position to have the cord entering the machine through the middle of this wheel. So you pull the cord out to use the cleaner, and there's a little red marker. I have moved it down a bit because it did seem quite high up. So there's a little red marker. That should be there. I wasn't really sure if it should be there, but I read the instructions and it was put on to prevent you pulling out the flex too far. So once you see the little red marker, you're not supposed to pull any further. So I'll just rewind it back in. In fact, I'll rewind the whole thing back in because I'm not ready for the demo, and show you the very smooth cord rewind. There we go, excellent. It's also another little feature that I like. Has got this little, I don't know what Electrolux called it, but it's a sort of a stopper thing. It's to prevent the plug from bashing into the machine, which could, of course, damage the machine or damage the plug. So this, which you can move up and down, there's a little screw thread here, so you can loosen it and move it up and down. But obviously, you see, you'd have to fit your own plug back in the day. So once you'd put your own plug on, you could adjust this little stopper. So as you can see, it does its job very well and keeps the plug well away from the cleaner. Here are the controls on the back of the machine. So we've got the foot operated on-off switch, and that's of course your automatic flex rewind, and we've got this mains on and check bag indicator. So when we've got the cleaner switched on at the socket but not switched on at the cleaner, this light will illuminate orange. It also illuminates when the cleaner switches itself off when the bag's full. That's another automatic feature. Instead of just having a signal like a light, or in some cases some Electrolux cleaners had a whistle signal, instead of having that, the machine actually turns itself off when you need to check the bag or replace the bag, and it won't allow you to use the machine without a bag in place. The machine won't switch on if you don't have the bag in. I'll show you all that in a moment. This is the exhaust vent, of course, on the top of the machine with a filter and diffuser underneath. So it is still a little bit grubby. It hasn't really come very clean. It's very hard to get this carbon dust off a filter once it's on, but it's certainly cleaner than it was. And underneath the filter pad, we've got a blower outlet, so you can use this machine for blowing. And I have used it for blowing recently, and it's got a very forceful blowing action. Electrolux suggests you can use this machine for blow drying your dog after a bath. I don't think I'll attempt that with Daisy. She'd get blown away, to be honest. But anyway, that is your exhaust filter and the exhaust grill on the top of the machine. Now, at the front of the cleaner, obviously we've got the suction inlet, and we've got this little dial here. Now that adjusts this bag. I don't know what they call it actually, but anyway, what they suggest you do with this is have it on position 3, so 3 red bars showing. Now this basically adjusts the sensitivity of the machine. So if you're picking up a lot of fine dust, you might find the cleaner will switch off before the bag's full, or if you're picking up more fibrous material, then you can obviously fill the bag more before you need to change it. So basically, if you were to have it on the full setting here, that means it's its least sensitive, so you can really fill the bag before the machine will cut out. But if you have it on just 1 bar showing, then it's at its most sensitive, so the bag automatic bag check device will cut out before. But Electrolux suggests you start the machine off on about 3 bars, and they say as you get to use the machine, you'll know what setting is best to suit you. So basically, when you're using the machine, if you have it on 3 bars, if you find it's switched itself off, you just need to check the bag, and if you think the bag has got a bit more life in it, you can turn the dial up a bit more, and then the cleaner should switch back on. But then Electrolux say if you've got it on this setting, which is all the bars showing, and it switches off, then it is time to replace the dust bag. Speaking of dust bags, let's have a look at the dust bag, which is accessed using this little switch here. And here is the bag. I'll put it on its end, which is the best way to exchange the bag. I think Electrolux actually recommend putting the machine on its end when you're replacing the dust bag, just so any dust doesn't actually fall out. But they are supposed to be self-sealing bags. So, as you can see, the bag lifts out. There is a little bit of dirt in it because I've had a quick go of the machine. This is a new bag that I put in. And as you can see, it has more or less sealed. There's a small hole still. When you actually put the bag in the machine and close the cover, it will open up. You can see those little cardboard pieces will push open. But it's more or less sealed, so once that's full, you can just drop that in the bin. Now, as far as I know, I haven't been able to get... There is another filter. There's a cage and there is a pre-motor filter inside here. A viewer did suggest to me that that's not supposed to be removable. In fact, there's no mention of this in the instruction book. There probably will be a way of getting it out. It looks fairly clean anyway, so you know, I'm just going to leave it. So we can just pop the new bag in and close the bag door. I'll show you what happens if we don't put a bag in. So I've plugged the Electrolux 330 in and the mains on / check bag light is illuminated. Because there's a bag in place, it will allow me to turn the cleaner on. But let's say I've been a bit of a forgetful 70s housewife. I've been far too busy arranging flowers or tossing my salad or doing whatever 70s housewives used to do. And I've run out of bags, but I've got, you know, a few ladies from the WI coming over for tea. And I need to clean the house, or I need to get my cleaner to clean the house. And I think, oh no, I need another bag, but oh, well, I'll just use it without a bag, it'll be fine. So let's try that. I've taken the bag out. I'll close it up. It allows you to close it. Let's turn it on. Oh, it doesn't allow me to do anything, but the check bag light is still illuminated even when I do this. Try and turn it on and off. So it's obviously saying check the bag. Well, I can't check the bag, can I? Because there's no bag in there. Naughty. Naughty Margot. In fact, Margot Ledbetter from The Good Life, she did have an Electrolux cylinder. That did feature in one of my favourite episodes of The Good Life, which was called Tug of the Forelock, when Tom and Barbara, the neighbours, the self-sufficient neighbours, needed a bit of extra cash. So they helped out Margot. Tom did the garden and Barbara did the housework. And we saw Margot's Electrolux. I can't recall the model number. I'm sure someone will be able to inform me. But it wasn't as deluxe as this. You'd think Margot would have had the best, but no. Now, I'm not sure if the on-off switch is in the on position. So if it is, as soon as I close the end, it will turn on. Yes, it was. So isn't it a lovely sounding motor? Oh, that is poetry. Beautiful. Right down to the last rotation. That is a lovely sounding cleaner. Okay, so I've shown you more or less everything on the machine. Here's the underside. I don't know why we've got this, but we've got this sort of metal piece here. You can see it's in very, very good condition. Two wheels with nice rubber tyres on them. And a bit further up, we've got this swivel caster with a little wheel in the middle. I can hear actually when I'm turning that, I'm sure it's full of ball bearings. It's a very smooth action, not like the cheap machines you get now, which is just like a plastic caster with no ball bearings. Obviously there are some better machines. Sebo and Miele still have some decent casters on the underside of their machines. It's a fantastic machine, isn't it? There is a little hole here, and that is for, which I have, I won't show you, you'll see it in the unboxing video if you want to watch that if you haven't seen it. It actually came supplied with a metal hook that you could attach to your pantry wall, and the machine would actually hang on the wall, and this is the point where you'd hang it from. Okay, so that's the cleaner. Let's have a look at the cleaning tools. In the instruction book they illustrate a radiator brush which fits onto the end of the crevice nozzle, so I didn't have that, so I think that was one thing that was missing, unless it didn't come as standard, I'm not sure. But here is the crevice nozzle, and basically I gave it a bit of a wipe over, but I don't think they used that. I don't know if it was used at all, to be honest. I didn't clean it inside. I just wiped over the exterior. And that, to me, looks almost factory fresh. So that's the lovely long crevice tool. Much better than the normal ones you get today. There are some exceptions, but normally you get these tiny little things, don't you? but that'll certainly get right down the back of your sofa. Here is Electrolux's famous butterfly dusting tool, probably one of the only multi-tools that I have any time for. So obviously, here's the handle anyway of the cleaner with the suction control. So when you put the tool in this way, you've got the soft dusting brush, and if you reverse it and pop it in that way and open out these two wings, that is your upholstery nozzle for your upholstery, your stairs and your curtains, etc. That actually lives on board. There's a little clip here, look, and that clips in there, so you can be vacuuming your carpets and floors using the main nozzle, and then remove the extension wand and grab your dusting tool for your above floor jobs. Obviously there's no provision for your crevice tool, so obviously you'd have to rummage in your cupboard for that. You've got a single lightweight aluminium tube. No telescopic tubes back then, you just had one single tube. Here's the hose, which is tapered, which means it's thinner at the handle end and thicker at the cleaner end. There's something, it's quite rigid, this, I don't know what's up with it. It isn't very flexible. I don't think they were all that flexible when new, but it does seem quite stiff, this. It's got Electrolux's 3-lug fitting, so it does fit very securely into the machine, and you've got this nice rubber seal to seal the suction in and also to seal the air in when using it as a blower. And finally, another automatic feature of this Electrolux is this automatic carpet and floor nozzle. This is the same as you'd get with the later 345, but this is a grey colour. The 345 one, of course, was brown, which was a very 70s colour. Two colours that symbolise the 70s for me are brown and orange. Oh, it's got a few bits of hair on it, sorry about that. Look at the condition of that, it's absolutely fantastic. So it has a floating brush, and you can you just hear this? Listen. It does have some sort of a membrane. No, I can't carry on. I can carry on, I mean. That's not going in my bloopers. It has some sort of a membrane or diaphragm, possibly. So when you're using it on hard floors, the brush goes down. But when you've got it on carpets, and the suction actually helps to pull this, retracts it in. You can actually use the nozzle, it says in the instruction book, if you angle the nozzle slightly upwards, the brush will go down. So if you need to have a bit of brushing action, you can do that to dislodge any hairs or anything. But normally you'd keep it flat. You've also got two very smooth running wheels either side, and a little rubber bumper all the way around to protect the nozzle and your furniture from knocks and scratches. Well, I think I've shown you everything. Yes, I think I have. Let's get some dirt put down now, and we'll test this Electrolux 330 on Ibaisiac's famous bag o' filth. Well, here we are, folks. I've put down my bag o' filth. I don't expect it to clear up these big bits, but I will actually attempt to clear up the big bits just using the hose end, not the nozzle. But I'm going to go through the middle. You never know. But normally even a modern straight suction vacuum cleaner doesn't tend to do very well. Normally gets the dust and the large particles, but any hair that's on the carpet you do have to rub and scrub. But I'm going to do it in a true 70s fashion. As the Electrolux instruction book says, it says, guide the nozzle slowly. Don't rub and scrub. Let the powerful suction do the work for you. Right, let's see. Let's see if this vintage cleaner will cope with my bag of filth just like a modern one does. Stranger things have happened on Ibaisiac, and let's hope also that this Electrolux won't blow up during the demonstration. I'll start right at the edge actually, on a clean part of the carpet, and we'll go forward and back through the middle. Come on, this is probably more dirt than it's ever picked up, but we'll see how it copes. I think it got a little bit blocked up. It started off quite well, and then when it came to the larger bits, I think, oh dear, yeah, I think it got a little bit clogged. Now I've got rid of the larger bit, let's just go up and down the middle again a few times, just see if we can make a nice clean path. Do you know what? Yeah, I did have to do it a few times. I think that's done a better job than the Hoover Idol. That was a disaster of a demo. It didn't do very well at all. I had to abandon that. Yeah, but apart from, as I knew, the hairs, there is hairs on here. I can still see. Oh, there's a great big clump there. It's not done bad, has it? In fact, let's do what the instructions suggest, and I'll tilt the nozzle back, because now, by tilting it back, we've got a little bit of brushing action. You know, that isn't bad, is it? What do you think? Eh? That isn't bad at all. Obviously, I've got many vacuum cleaners that will do a much better job than this one, but considering the age of this Electrolux, I don't think that is a bad result at all. Okay, I want to see this automatic bag check thing work, don't you? I want to see if this machine will actually switch itself off. So what I'm going to do is clean up some more of this, give you a few more shots, and see how full we can get this machine before it cuts out. Well, I've cleaned up a lot. It's still going, it's not cut out yet, but I think there's a definite drop in the suction performance. What I'm going to do now, though, to really test this old girl, is all the big clumps that I've left. I'm going to see if I can remove them just using the end of the hose. Well, here's a large clump of the dirt. This is mainly fibrous dirt. This is dog hairs and fibres off a rug that sheds more than the dogs. Let's see if I can manage to pick this up without actually blocking the end of the hose. Well, no problem there. Let's see how well the upholstery nozzle works then on the rest of this. This all should be picked up using the small nozzle now. I've got rid of all the big particles. Well, it's got mostly everything apart from, yeah, there's a few tenacious bits. These tend to be the dog hairs and the fibres from that rug. No, I don't think even, well, I'll try a little bit more scrubbing at it. No, I think I need to get myself an Electrolux 504 to get rid of those. It's just not going to, it's not going to cut the mustard, is it? But anyway, it's still doing a pretty good job considering that bag must be very full, but not full enough. It's still not switched off. I've got one last clump of threads and fibres and bits and bobs to pick up, so I'll pick those up and hopefully we'll get the automatic cutout to work. Aha! It's worked! I can't believe it. It switched itself off. So with the automatic bag check indicator on its 3-bar setting as recommended in the instruction book, it's turned off. I'm wondering whether it'll turn on if I turn the dial up. No, it doesn't. What if I turn the machine on and off? No, it looks like this old girl is pretty much full. Right, let's look inside the dust bag. Well, it has sealed, but there is a little bit of muck around the bag entrance. Only to be expected. I think this is going to be very, very full. So I've really simulated several weeks worth of housework in the average 70s home. Oh, that is full, isn't it? Wow. But it continued cleaning. I mean, it still had some suction despite the fact that this is a single layered paper bag. There still was some suction in the machine. Well, I can't really use that again. What I'm going to have to do is pop a new bag in and then clean the rest of this up and then go into the kitchen and see how well it cleans the hard floor. Well, I've got a lovely new dust bag, so I'll just pop it in. Let's make sure it's located all the way around, and I'm not sure if it's going to turn itself on. I'll just turn the dial back to its setting 3. I'm not sure what position the on-off switch was in, so it might actually turn on when I close the bag door. Hang on, that's in, yes. No, it hasn't. Hopefully, as long as I've not done something, not overheated it or anything, it should now switch on. Full suction has been restored. Okay, let's get into the kitchen. I'm going to put quite a lot of flour down, so that'll probably block the bag pours quicker than anything, and we might see the bag check indicator operating a bit sooner. Well folks, I've been a very, very bad boy, haven't I? I've not only managed to spill a load of flour and rolled oats on the kitchen floor, somehow it's encroached onto the living room carpet as well. What am I to do? Well, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to run the Electrolux automatic nozzle first over the carpet area and then onto the hard floors, because of course there should be no pedals to press, no adjustments to make. The automatic action of this nozzle should transition from my carpet onto my floor effortlessly. Well, it will, if life is anything like the commercials. In fact, if anyone knows, I don't think there's one on YouTube yet, but there was an Electrolux 345 TV commercial, I remember it, because it featured Katie Holland, who did the 502 commercial. Now, I've got a copy of that on my channel, and it was a similar one to the 502 commercial with the same lady, Katie Holland, from the Otzo adverts, if you're old enough to remember. But I do remember what I found fascinating as a young boy, very young boy, barely a babe in arms. I remember they did a shot of this nozzle, well not this one, the Electrolux 345 nozzle, going from a carpet onto the hard floor, and it was a close-up of the brushes magically lowering themselves down onto the floor. What I'm going to do, after I've cleaned this up, I'm going to try and recreate that in lieu of having the original TV commercial. Okay, let's have a look then. I've got some flour and rolled oats, as I say. Let's give it a go. Well, even back in the 70s, there was the phenomenon, I can't say that word. I can't think of another word for phenomenon. Have I anyway, in the 70s, they still would have had the problem, that's better, problem of snow ploughing, because this nozzle has snow ploughed. It's done quite well with the flour, but it's left a few of the rolled oats, and unfortunately it has snow ploughed quite a lot of the rolled oats just out of camera shot. There you go, you can see what it's done. It's by keeping the nozzle flat, it's just pushed it along. Well, let's see if we can pick that up by tilting the nozzle backwards. Yep, got it in the end. Okay, to end the demo, let's see if we can get the shot I so remember from the original TV ad. Well, we've just about come to the end of this video demonstration of the Electrolux 330 automatic. Well, I think, considering what I put down for it to pick up, it did a pretty good job considering the age of the machine. They don't make them like this anymore, do they? They certainly don't. Anyway, that's all for today. Because I don't like to leave a job unfinished, I'm just going to clear up the remaining mess that I've left. So until the next time, please thumb up, please check my other videos, and please subscribe, and you'll be updated every time I upload a new video. So until the next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.